case you haven't heard, X, is now paying people to tweet. I've been paid by a lot of different platforms and even used to help with the ads platform over at Twitch. On top of that, I've actually gotten in arguments with Elon live on Twitter Spaces all about Twitter's monetization of advertisements. That said, I did not expect to get the paycheck I got. It was quite a bit more than I thought. So much so that I actually made a Chrome extension to show you on Twitter how much money each tweet makes. We're going to get into all of that, but I want to start first off by showing my numbers, comparing them against other platforms, and then I can show you what it looks like to get monetized yourself on Twitter, and also how to see how much money everyone else is making. So without further ado, let's take a look at my numbers. First number you're going to see here, so I payment on August 7th for $1,300.93. From my understanding, which could be wrong, this is my payment for my tweets from May, June, and July, because they started tracking this 3 months before, and then in July and into August, finally set it up so people would be paid for the previous 3 months of tweeting. If this is true, my impressions count over that window was 53.4 million tweets. So for me, for the 90-day window from May 1st to end of July, that's 51.5 million impressions, which led to $1,300.93. Supposedly, Twitter is only counting verified views, so people who are on Twitter Blue. But I don't have that many followers on Twitter Blue. This number is still really high. So who knows how the actual detection is done in terms of which percentage of viewers and which views and impressions actually count towards your monetization. So I'm doing very rough math, and the extension I'm about to show you is also doing very rough math to get an idea of how much money each tweet is worth. I literally took this number, I divided it by this number, and I multiply your view count. And now, when I scroll Twitter, you'll see under every tweet a $sign and an amount. This Chrome extension shows you how much money each tweet is getting roughly based on my numbers, based on the number of impressions or views that tweet got. And I will be sure to link this Chrome extension in the description if you want to see how much money your tweets and other people's tweets are worth. It's also open source, so if you happen to be an engineer, I have a whole other YouTube channel where I just talk about code stuff, so you probably already know this, but the source code is up as well. So, how do you even get monetized on Twitter, X? And how does it compare to payment on other platforms? Well, it's interesting. If you're not already following me on Twitter, definitely worth it if you care about either software dev stuff or the state of the social media marketplace and finding money as a creator. I love talking about these things, thinking about the funnels and whatnot. But this was my take on people's concerns around engagement bait for making money. More importantly, this is me breaking down the revenue I get from different amounts of viewership on different platforms. For comparison's sake, I got $1,300 for 3 months of Twitter. But if we compare that to another platform with ads that pays me for it, like Twitch, I only stream once a week, mind you. So my earnings here aren't going to be particularly massive compared to other people. But what I'm going to do is go all the way back to when I started streaming. This is all the money I've made on Twitch total. It's going to take a minute to calculate. So I made 34 grand total on Twitch. Not bad at all. And you can see that one crazy gift day where I made like $1,000 on gifted subs. What is crazy is in my lifetime on Twitch, I made $630 on ads in Turbo. Turbo's people paying to not get ads on Twitch. That's $630 for every ad I've ever run on Twitch. That's disgusting. Every viewer either sees an ad when they join via a pre-roll or when I run an up to 3 minute long ad break once an hour during my stream. And I make nothing from it. It's hilarious how little money I get off of advertising on Twitch. So I was expecting similar numbers to this because Twitch and Twitter both don't have access to Google and Facebook's ad networks, which are the best ad networks in the world by a lot. So my presumption was numbers like this. And when I saw this number instead, it was very much an, oh shit, maybe I miscalculated moment for me. As I said here, 2 times what I've made on ads from Twitch in my lifetime. And on a YouTube channel that gets about 1 million to 2 million views a month, it's about half of what I would get there for monthly. Again, this isn't monthly, this is over 3 months. Still very good numbers. So how do you even get monetized? Well, this is where things get pretty interesting. Previously, the bar was 15 million impressions over 3 months, which is a lot. 15 million of anything, especially something you don't control, that's a big number. And that's like getting 5 million people viewing your tweets every month was a huge challenge. They actually bumped it, so now it's 5 million impressions over 3 months, which by my math here, if this was 50 million over 3 months, 5 million over 3 months would knock a zero off. That's $130 over 3 months, just roughly like $40 to $50 a month. With Twitter's Blue subscriptions being $8 a month, as a creator that can meet that bar, it's almost irresponsible to not subscribe to Twitter Blue, which is crazy. But like if you tweet much at all and you have an audience at all, $8 a month to qualify for that minimum $40 a month you would make if you're qualified. That's a no-brainer. It's annoying you have to pay and you don't just get it for free based on your impressions, but they're trying to minimize on botting, I guess. Hard to know if that's even a real thing. Regardless, this is a huge thing for creators. Not necessarily the money, but the incentives, the reasons to grow on Twitter, and the fact that Twitter is actually working to help creators get seen by more people more often. This is making people look at their Twitter analytics when they never had before. And suddenly we're writing better tweets that resonate with bigger audiences. I'm actually excited about how this will change Twitter as a platform, and also about the possibility of making a little bit more money every month for putting good content in other places. If they maintain this level of payout with video, this is going to be an exciting place to post in the future. That would also require big changes to viewer behaviors that I don't know if they can do. Something I'm thinking a lot about, and I'm excited to see what the future looks like. But for now, this is just a good way to get a little bit more money for posts you're probably already making. So definitely go monetize if you're a creator that has a big enough audience to. And if you don't, be excited for when you do get there. To quickly compare to YouTube's numbers, because YouTube is still the gold standard here, I compared a similar 90-day window where I got 3.6 million views, which admittedly, a view on YouTube is a much deeper and more intentful thing than a view on Twitter. And here I made around 10 grand from the 3.6 million views in the same 90-day window that I made $1,300 from the 50 million on Twitter. So yeah, the ratio here is still nowhere near as good as YouTube's, but this is again a difference between both the ad network and the viewer behavior. So what do you think? Are you able to monetize on Twitter? Do you see real potential here? How much money are you going to be able to make? What do your impressions look like right now? I'm really curious how many of y'all are actually checking these numbers and know what your impressions are, because the 5 million in 3 months is actually realistic for a lot of people to hit. So how close are you? You going to hit it soon? Let me know what you think about this, and definitely go install that Chrome extension if you hadn't and you want to see how much money every tweet is worth, because I'll admit, it's fun scrolling and seeing the dollar signs. If you want to learn more about how the YouTube algorithm works to compare to this, I'll pin a video in the corner up there. Thank you guys as always. Peace, nerds.